Hello, non-sports fans. My name is John Inman, and I'm here to talk about sports with my good friend, Brett Myrano. Brett's a convenient 1,500 miles away in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm here in Denver, Colorado. The purpose of our show, Sports Poser, is basically to get non-sports fans up to speed on sports so that they can have meaningful conversations at the water cooler in the morning at work or at a neighborhood barbecue or networking event or an initial meeting with your client. So without further ado, Brett, how are you today?
Good. Thanks, John, for hosting this wonderful opportunity.
It is a great opportunity, and I'm excited for you to bring your A game to get all of us sports noobs up to speed and turn us into the posers we long to be. So I'll jump right into it. First and foremost, we want to cover the NFL this season, so we're going to start with the preseason, which just wrapped up. And my question to you is, what is the purpose of a preseason, and do sports fans care? Does it matter?
Let me put this very simply for all of you. No, it does not matter. The only thing that matters is your best players don't get hurt, and then you cut some crappy players that probably aren't going to make it. That's all the preseason is for. And to drive that point home even more, the Detroit Lions were 4-0 a couple seasons ago in preseason. Everyone in Detroit was happy. They finished 0-16, didn't win one game all year long. So it means nothing.
Trying to imagine a world where everyone in Detroit was happy. But fortunately, their hopes were immediately dashed, and so situation back to normal. So
yes, absolutely.
All right. So I guess we should start with the Super Bowl last year, right? You got to kind of go into this year with that knowledge from last year. And you and I actually watched that game together up in Breckenridge, Colorado.
Yeah, I believe that's the only game you've watched in several years. So it was very lucky of me to be able to join you. But it is good to know who won the Super Bowl in the beginning of a season, so you do not look like the poser that you are. So it was the LA Rams versus the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Rams won it in a very good game with two exciting quarterbacks. So we're starting fresh.
It was a pretty close game, if I remember correctly.
It was a very good game.
It's great. All right. So believe it or not, I've actually done some homework here. I went to NFL.com to understand the structure because I hear AFC, NFC, East, West, all that. And what I learned is that there are, within the league, the National Football League, there are two conferences, the American Football Conference and the National Football Conference. Mm-hmm. And then each of them have four divisions, North, South, East, and West, and that there are four teams per division. Mm-hmm. So how does it shaping up? How does it look?
So, like you said, four teams in each division. The winner of those divisions make the playoffs, and then they have something called a wild card. So the best records after the people that have won that division make the playoffs. And then in the AFC, they all play each other to represent the American Football Conference, the AFC. Then the same thing happens in the NFC. The winner of that playoff bracket plays each other for the Super Bowl. And so I think what you're asking is what's going on in each AFC and NFC right now. The AFC is loaded with talent. It's got probably 10 teams that could probably win the Super Bowl. And in the NFC is a little lighter. It's just, I think, 3, maybe 5 teams that would have a good chance at winning the Super Bowl. So you can count out a lot of teams, but there are also a lot of teams that could make the playoffs. Should make an interesting year.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. Wow, the AFC does sound loaded. So what's interesting about this year? What are you looking forward to?
When I look at it, to me, it's the quarterback play. So there's a lot of famous quarterbacks, even someone that like you has probably heard of, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. But in the AFC, it's just loaded with so many young talents. Joe Burrow from Cincinnati, it was in the Super Bowl as a rookie. Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, fast and just so exciting to watch. There's so many good quarterbacks. Josh Allen in Buffalo. That the elevated play of the quarterback position is obvious. And even if you really don't love football, it is fun to watch what some of these guys can do.
Right. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, it definitely does sound like, I mean, there's names in there that I recognize. And then obviously it sounds like there's a lot of new names. It's kind of hard to go around these days and not hear names like Brady and things like that. So
he's only been playing since we were like 5. So
yeah. That's very good. All right. You care to make a preseason prediction?
Yeah, it's always fun to try to guess. I think in the NFC, it's going to be the Rams again. I just think they have such a great team around them. And maybe Brady sneaks in again because he's so lucky.
Right.
And then Aaron Rodgers with the Packers is always dangerous too. So, you have some really good quarterbacks in the NFC that with a lot of game experience that could easily get into a Super Bowl against one of the other AFC teams. But I think the AFC team will probably win. And I would probably say it's either going to be, I say the Chiefs or the Bills versus the Rams. And if based on the game that they had last year in the playoffs, the Chiefs and Bills, which is one of the greatest games you've ever seen, I'm going to take the Bills this time and take the Bills over the Rams for the Buffalo Bills to win their first Super Bowl in their history of their franchise.
Wow. That's
Ken would really like that.
That's a bold prediction. I like it. And for you to choose against the Kansas City team, that's impressive. So
yes. Yeah, thanks. Like you know what you're talking about. So.
I mean, I seem to remember you having a KC hat somewhere. I don't remember if it was baseball or football, but I do remember you were.
Well, that's baseball.
Okay.
Try to keep up. Stay in your lane.
Stay in my lane. Exactly. All right. Well, as I commit to every year, I'm not going to watch a single game this season, only the Super Bowl with you, as we mentioned, and see how I fare in these conversations to see if the information that you're imparting on posers like me is actually going to work out. So,
yeah. And I think it'll be fun to recap each week what's gone on and the highlights. There's always something that everybody's talking about, whether it be a bad call or an exciting game, a big injury, a big upset, whatever. So we'll be able to like go over those topics. So on Monday, actually what happened.
Yeah. All right. Well, our next presentation will be Monday morning, September 12th, after the first full weekend coming up. So I look forward to that. Thank you again. And thank you all for joining.